Hey y'all, Pixel here, Improbable Garage, and I'm going to show you how to build some easy and interesting shelves for 164 matchbox Hot Wheels diecasts using Hot Wheels tracks. So I built these shelves. These are just built out of wood and stained, but these can be a bit of a pain to put together, especially if you don't have a nail gun, and they're a very specific look. I'm going to show you how to build some really quick and easy ones that you're going to need a hacksaw, a drill, and some very, very basic hand tools, and they should look pretty good. So let's go out to the garage and I'll show you how I'm doing this. So I do apologize, my shop is still a complete disaster, so this is going to be a bit messy to do, as witnessed by that. But I wanted to show you this because I'm building these for my little studio in the basement, and it seemed like a thing other people might be interested in. So Hot Wheels sells these tracks. They're about 2 feet long each. It's a 2-pack, so you've got 4 feet of track. Normally they're flat. I stored them badly, so I'm going to add problems for myself with this warp, but if you buy them and don't store them badly, then they're nice and flat and easy to work with. What I'm going to use is 8 feet of this stuff. This is a 1/16 by 1.5 by 8 foot piece of angle iron. Bought this at Home Depot. It was like 25 bucks. And you take the, hang on. I have a smaller piece of track that's just easier for showing you this. So on the short side, the track, so this is, okay, it says 1/16 by 1/2, but yeah. So if you see when you put it on the thing, it's basically the same width as it. If I do it on this side, it's a little bit longer. This is the 1.5 side. This is the 1/116 side, it appears, though there's not a lot of difference. But, let me turn it this way, you end up with that very easily. And what I'm just going to do is, there's already holes in this that the connectors go in. I'm just going to drill holes for the, I'm going to cut this to length, drill holes at each of those locations on either end, put a bolt and nut through, and then up here I'm going to drill a couple mount holes, and then this whole thing can just get screwed directly to the wall, and the car can sit in here, and it'll have that cool orange Hot Wheels track, the nice finished aluminum edge, so it'll look really nice. This inner edge, if you wanted to, you could paint it. You could paint the whole thing, but you could also polish this since it's aluminum and get a sort of shiny thing. You wouldn't quite get a mirror finish, but you'd get a pretty nice shiny background. And I mean, that's basically it. All right, there we go. One completed shelf. I put a screw in the center because, like I said, these are warped. If you're doing this with ones that aren't warped, you probably won't need that screw, but there's a chance that pulling the ends down with these screws will cause the middle to lift a little. So that's something you're going to have to find out on your own. But this piece of track, they're listed as a total of 48 inches, but because of the way the connector works, the track itself is 2 7/8 inches. So that's what this shelf was cut to, 2 7/8. I rounded this corner and this corner slightly in order to just not have a sharp thing that somebody could jab themselves on. I used an angle grinder to cut it just because I have that and it's faster, but you could very easily use a hacksaw to cut. Aluminum's super easy to cut. So you could easily cut it with a hacksaw. Just mark the line and be careful when you cut and you should be fine. A little bit of sandpaper or a file will let you clean up the cut edge. That's also something, if you have a file, you can use that to round the corner as well. And then I just drilled the 3 holes, 7/30 seconds or 1/4, depending on how loose you want it or tight you want it to be. I'm using a number 10 by 24 screw. This is a 3/8 inch screw, which gives just a little bit. It's basically the shortest one that they had in stock. You may have a problem, depending on how high your cars are, with them running off the edge. If that's the case, put the screw in upside down so that it's sticking up, and that'll give you a high enough stop here that it'll keep the last car from rolling off. Similar, I just drilled a hole here and I drilled a hole here. I'm using number 10, just button head screws. That's what I'm going to use to screw it to the wall. And then I very quickly went over this with some steel wool on the front edge here and the back edge here, just to give it a little bit of a shiny polish. And then that's it. That's a done shelf. It'll take you very slightly longer if you're doing it with hand tools, but not by much. I mean, the angle grinder did not add much speed to this. One piece of this is 8 feet long, which means I'm going to get 4 shelves, which is two packs of this stuff. So that's super easy. And this is very scalable. If you use the smaller 1-foot track, you get 8 smaller shelves. You can make these longer by just connecting the pieces of track. You could do a 3-foot by having a 2-footer and a 1-foot. You get the idea. And it's very easy, it's very quick, and it looks really nice. It gives you this nice clean edge that the track is sitting on. It all just kind of goes together super fast and super easy while looking really nice. And like I said, you could easily paint this. What I would do, like I said, these are just going in where I work on my cars. I'll show you when I've got them installed. So I'm not as worried about that. But if you're trying to install these somewhere and have them look really nice, instead of polishing this, you also have the option of just painting the whole shelf. One thing you could also do is paint the entire shelf, say black, or the Hot Wheels blue. And then you can come back with a fine sandpaper and sand off just this front edge and expose the aluminum. And then you'd have a, colored shelf with a very nice polished edge, and that could look really nice. So really easy, really fast, looks really professional, and not a complicated thing at all to do with even the most basic of tools. So I'm going to jump to when I've got these 4 done, and then I'm going to show you them installed. So there we go, all fully installed. I spaced these out just to make sure I'd have enough room no matter what I put on them, because you get a tall thing, it could be an issue. But realistically, for most vehicles, you can pull these down and just have them touching with none of this wall visible in between, and they'll work just fine. So yeah, I think they look pretty good. I think that's a nice little look, and for not a lot of effort. And all these cars up here meant they got off my workbench, which was supposed to make my workbench clearer, but yeah, it's kind of a disaster in here, no matter what I do. But that's going to be it. I hope this little project was useful to someone. You have a good day. Bye.